What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast. I'm your host, Grandpa, on this screen. That's Michelle Zangulis on the other. Say, hey, how's your Sunday going? Hope everyone's doing great, Michelle.
I remember, I think you said started it with "Hey everyone."
Got her. All right. Well, that's Michelle Zangulis on that screen. Again, this is the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast. Before we get started, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. The Tough Runs Don't Last podcast is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section for t shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us, the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast, on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X, Instagram, and TikTok at TR Don't Last. So, how's your workout schedule been, Michelle? Update everyone on that.
I rode the bike again. Um, I
Last
did
I checked, it was once. Have you done it since then?
no.
Okay,
But I did it once. Um, so
well, describe it. It must be memorable then if it was once, or should be in your memory as far as how far you went, what you did, and all that.
I followed along to a YouTube video. I do not pay for Peloton anymore. I canceled that subscription. So I just found a YouTube person who was pretty popular and just followed along to one of their videos. Um, it was interesting because it was not it was more like choreography on the bike
Okay,
than
describe the video because people aren't going to know what you're talking about. Like you're what?
I mean, you're just watching somebody else ride their bike and they're telling you what to do. So
Okay,
it's just like a fitness video. You're following along.
okay. So what's some of the stuff that you do? I've
Um,
never done one of these, so I'm not being a smart aleck. I really don't know. I have an idea, but I don't know.
yeah, so Peloton, I don't know like the words to use correctly. I want to start off with that.
Okay, well,
Um,
just hear your version of it anyway. So,
so Peloton I feel like is very like um like focused on the cardio and like building up like the strength and endurance on the bike. Where there are other things like Soul Cycle, which is an in-person class, which is very focused kind of on choreography. So like you're moving a lot more on the bike, and that's how it was. So there was a lot more like up and down on the bike, and a lot of like straightening your arms and moving. So like it was weird, and so I don't know that I would use that person again because I just didn't like that setup. I want to focus more on like hills, like just increasing resistance and increasing speed and like standing up sometimes, but I don't want to be like jumping on the bike. And that's what I felt like was happening in that video.
okay, I know what you mean by standing up and all that because you're trying to either gain speed
Yeah.
or power going up a hill or something like that. I mean, I'm not. I know some. I know bike riding a little bit. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a cyclist. I'm a runner. But maybe one day we'll see what happens. But for now, I'm going to be a runner for as long as I can be, and or want to be. But I don't see the want part going away anytime, probably ever. But my body may have other ideas at some point down the road. But for now, I feel great, despite sounding stuffy. Michelle informed me last night I'm sick. I thought it was allergies really till this morning. I was like, okay, yeah, she may be onto something there. But okay, would you ever do a cycling? Would you ever do like a race, like cycling or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. My best friend she didn't do the full Big Dam 100. I think she did the Big Dam 50. Um, And
This is a 150-mile race in Little Rock, correct?
yeah. So she did like the half of that and she really enjoyed it and she was really big into cycling for a while. Um, and I do enjoy cycling. And so I absolutely, if I don't own an actual bike, but if I had the time to do that, I think that I would really actually enjoy it.
Yeah, you don't have the time to do that right now. You got enough stuff going on, and my race schedule is very full with running, so I will be sticking to that. But I've had a lot going on since we
Yeah.
last had an episode. It's been a couple of weeks. Last weekend did my first trail race. We'll start with that. It was a lot of fun. It was like going out and being a kid running through the woods, basically. It was lots of fun. A lot of stuff happened I didn't, and like you don't think about it until it happens. Like people asked, it had to be nice and running out in the scenery and things like that. And yes, that's true, but you could not enjoy any of it. It's not like a road race where you can kind of get lost in the surroundings because you're on an even surface and you can just go. And that's not the case in trail running, especially on this one. You have to pay attention to every single step that you take. It's got to be, I mean, you have to focus the whole way. I figured if I were to fall, it would have been like the times that I've fallen this year when it was toward the end of the run and being tired. And so you're not picking your feet up as much, maybe, or you're not concentrating as well as you should be. But I was conscious of that. I was aware of that during the race, especially at the end, because I was gassed. I was running with my brother, who's, I'll admit, faster than me. And I mean, we had a really good pace. And I went into it wanting to take it serious and go hard and all that stuff. I mean, have fun, but I mean, I wasn't going to win the thing, but like, I want to go see what I can do. So we did that, and yeah, at about we did the 13-mile option. This is the back 40 trail race. They had a 5 mile, a 13-mile, 20-mile, and 40-mile option. We did the 13-mile. And by about 9.5, I was gassed essentially because you're going up and down throughout the thing and the terrain's all over the place. The new trail running shoes I got, the New Balance Heroes, A+ review on that. They look like they look like I've very much used them now. They're not brand new anymore from the looks of it, like I showed on this on our last episode. I might take a picture of them and then post it on our Twitter page after and be like, okay, before and after first trail race. But 5-star review on that. But the socks made a huge difference. Features brand FEETURES. Raved about them on the last episode. Like $20 pair of socks, but they're worth it. It was that made all the difference because early on it had rained for like 2 days straight up there, and it stopped right before we started the race. And now it wasn't raining the morning of, it was sprinkling and misting. But as soon as we got out there and started, it stopped raining. But it had rained for like 2 days prior to that. And they had gotten a lot of rain recently anyway in Northwest Arkansas. So lots of mud, lots of water. Early on, we were trying to like kind of dodge the puddles along the trail. And then at a certain point, like you just don't care anymore. You're tired, and what's the point? And you just because they're everywhere. So we were just running through them. Me especially, I was just running through them. Even Ben, my brother, was like kind of dodging some of them at the end. And I was just going right through them. I didn't care. It was just splash, splash, splash. Like I'm out. Like at this point, it's like a little kid just playing in a puddle. It was fun, but it was a challenging course. Of course, this is my first one, so I don't really know how challenging these things can be. But it was, I'm told it's a difficult one, and it felt that way. but like terrain all over the place. Some of it, uh, I don't know how to describe it really, where you're kind of zigzagging, like bikes go through it, and there's a dip with as I hit my microphone, and almost like a wall that the bikes go along the trail, and running along the side of those was the most fun part. It felt like Sonic the Hedgehog. Running along that, as I mentioned to you, my brother made sound effects, and a guy behind us who saw how much fun we were having even did like a shy worm, like as he was doing that. It's like he wanted to be a part of it too, but I don't know. It was a shy version of it, and that made it even funnier. But it was lots of fun. One person did fall that I saw. I'm sure more people fell, but some lady in front of us early on fell. Did a very nice roll though. Had a very good roll and got right back up and kept going. But it was a lot of fun. It was 13 miles. My official time was 2:15:40 something, I believe. So slower than what I and when we were booking it. But there were lots of hills, and I mean it was challenging. I was having to walk the inclines toward the end just because I was out of gas. I was very tired. And I was sore for 3 days after. I did not like at work. When I got back to work, I thought, okay, moving around today is going to be good for me, loosen things up. And it did, it helped. But getting out of bed the next morning, the morning after the race, it was like my first marathon almost. I wasn't that sore because I was extremely sore after that, but I was very sore. And it lasted 3 days. But I am definitely going to do that again. I don't know which one or where, but I will definitely do it again. I get the I get the trail running hype, because runners in general are very tribal, and the trail runners are probably the most passionate. I guess is probably the best way to put it about trail running. And like I'll say I get it. I get the hype. I guess I had a really good time. It was a lot of fun, and I'll do it again. And there's a lot of perks to trail running. The races are usually cheaper, and it's not as how do I say it, but and I guess this could kind of be a con if you look at it that way. There's not a lot of aid. Like there are aid stations, but there aren't as many. So you'll probably have to, if you're doing a longer course like a 20 or 40 like that one, you probably want to carry like a pack of water or something like that. But 13 miles, I don't need that. Well, I did get some Gatorade at one of the aid stations, like along the course, but that was it. That was all I did. I didn't want to have to run off into the woods and go to the bathroom or anything like that. So, and that's the other thing, you're not going to find a porta potty or anything like that. So there are some that would be, I guess, a con for me. But it was nothing but pros on my end. I really enjoyed it, and I'll be doing more. And I think aura.com is like the Arkansas Ultra Runners Association, I believe is what it stands for. That's like the trail running group in Arkansas. So they have a schedule of all their trail runs and things like that if you want to check it out. That's aura.com. I'm pretty sure that's correct. So I will be frequenting that and probably be joining their group because it's only a $12 per year membership as of now. And so every January 1st, your dues come up. It's the same for everyone. I would have done it this year probably, but you would have had to turn around and renew January 1st. So okay, it's almost the end of the year, so I'll just wait till January to do that. But back 40 trail race, 5-star review on my end. They even had catfish after, and it was good. It was good catfish. But and yeah, they had beer too. I didn't get one, but I like that it was just, and this is how low key the trail races are. And this is what another sign of that and the reason I like it. They just had two 30 packs of Bush Light just like on the ground for anybody to just come grab, like right there with all their like refreshment stuff. Just two 30 packs of Bush Light. Like that was the beer. I thought that was great. And like a craft root beer or something. It was like from a local brewing company, which I tried. I'll stick to A&W or Frosty, but because it was a little too rich for me. I don't know how to describe it, but won't knock them. But it was, I don't know, it was just a unique environment. I did They did say in the email, try to save or keep the food to like registered runners and things like that. That's not what they said verbatim. They said limit the food to just registered runners, please. And my my dad and like sister-in-law and niece and nephew showed up, and it was funny. Like as we were kind of, I don't know, hanging out after, my dad had a big old plate of catfish and stuff that he was just sitting there munching on in front of everybody. I guess he just figured he could do that. But that was kind of funny to me to see my dad at whatever it was, 9 a.m., just a whole plate of catfish, just wolfing it down in front. Clearly not there to run, just enjoying the food. I thought that was kind of funny. So sorry, Back 40 Trail Race for that, but
I do just want to point out the website is runarkansas.com.
okay. Is there AURA.com?
There is not, but that is the AURA website is runarkansas.com.
Okay, there you go. All right, so good job, Michelle, for thanks for fact checking me there.
You are welcome.
Okay, and any questions, Michelle? Would you ever do a trail race?
No, I would not. For one main reason. I break my foot walking on flat surfaces. So I cannot trust myself to jog in and on a trail. That sounds like I would come out with a broken ankle for sure. I would
Hang
just
on
like,
just a second. How many, tell us how many times you've broken just one of your ankles?
well,
Was it ankle or feet or
so
foot?
I've broken my foot. I think we determined 3 times, and I sprained it really bad once. Um,
I think you said fun, but
yeah, but when we actually counted it out, it came out to actually only maybe it's only 4 breaks and then a really bad sprain. Um,
I feel like you should
so
know how many times you've broken. Like
well, it happens so often. Um,
that's
I mean,
weird.
just since we've known each other, it's happened twice. So, like, that's kind of the thing. Like, it happens all the time.
But
So,
you did it just getting off of the bus, like it like the at work, right? You just got off the bus onto like the ground. Now, granted, the road was like slanted a little bit, I think, but
yeah,
still, you, like rolled your ankle and broke it,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Um, I have very weak ankles. Um, so while I don't have like record that I've broken my ankle, I have had a bone scan done that shows that both of my ankles have been broken and like healed. But I do not have like record that they were actually broken. So I feel like some of the times when I thought it was just a sprain and I was like, I don't need to go to the doctor, it could have actually been that I broke my ankle. So,
Could be. Who knows? And I guess we won't know, but that's okay. Trail running's not for Michelle, is
no.
the gist of it. But
Yeah.
I will do more now. I almost rolled my ankle seriously like 8 times, but that's where the shoe comes in, and the socks that keep your feet dry and prevent blisters and things like that. So get you some tough wool socks, trail running socks. I mean, seriously invest in the socks were the game changer for me. The shoes, again, I got the New Balance Heroes. Eight, and they're spelled weird, HIERRO. Uh, Nothing but good things to say about that. shoe. Awesome. But the socks made all the difference in the world, from what I could tell. Okay. The other thing about that course, though, my brother asked me this while we were running it. He said, "Would you rather run this or bike it?" And I was like, "Run it." I don't know how people ride a bike through that. And there are injuries. Local hospitals there have gotten, you know whatever you call them. So it's not I mean cyclist, I guess, but on the trail.
Mountain bikers.
There you go, mountain bikers. Thank you. But yeah, you could easily get seriously injured doing that, especially on some of those portions of the trail where there's like flat rock that dips down to more flat rock and just continues and even goes up like that. And it was wet on top of that. I mean, I nearly slipped. I mean, I slipped more than several times during the race, but I can only imagine being on a bike and just one little wrong turn. Some of those portions of the trail, I mean, it's very, very narrow. You could easily go off and slide down the hill or what have you. But I would much rather run that than bike it 10 out of 10 times, 11 out of 10 times, 11,000 out of 10,000 times. I can't imagine having to bike that. That's wild to me. Would I do it? Sure. I've mountain biked Devil's Den before, and my friend Jeff, I remember we were going like down this hill, and it was zigzaggy, so you could look up and see the person above you as they were coming down. And we did that a couple of times. I looked up one time just out of my peripherals, and I could see Jeff like supermaning over his bike, like flying off the bike.
Oh no.
Yeah, he didn't get bad. It was really funny. He didn't get hurt or anything like that, but could have very easily. And where we were at mountain biking, I mean, 2 feet away from us, it's just a drop down. I mean, you would get seriously injured or killed
Yeah.
falling down that. So it can be dangerous, but I mean, it does look fun too. But I would much rather run that than bike it for sure. So I enjoyed it. I'll probably do it again next year if my schedule permits. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Also, I've been doing the Rhino Ultra, Rhino Races Rhino Ultra. This is the second time I've done it. And I have until Wednesday at 4 p.m. to complete my 10 half marathons. But I finished this past Wednesday, just over a week in advance, and got my 10th half marathon in. Did it here in Cabot, just ran around town. And it was dark for the last hour and a half or so, but I ran in parts that were mostly flat. And I don't know, it turned out it was a pretty good run. It helped too that because I was either going to do it then or today. And I thought, especially with the Spa 10K I did, I'll get to that in a bit. The Spa 10K I did yesterday, the 19th Grand Prix race of the season. I thought about waiting until Sunday to do it just so I wouldn't wear myself out for that. But then I was like, no, we got one of these to do. Let's get it over with to where we're just chilling on Sunday. I say that and I might go mow today. We'll see what happens because it's warm today. But it also is going to be dark in 2.5 hours. So, well, I don't know that it'll be worth it, but we'll find out as soon as I get off of here. But Rhino Ultra done nearly a week in advance. So kudos to me on that. Bless you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Was that an allergy sneeze, or do you think I got you sick?
No, it's definitely allergies. I am allergic to fall, so
Okay, again, sorry for my voice, everyone. This is just what I'm going to sound like until I get over this. But yeah, Rhino Ultra done. Then I turned around. I had a pretty good workout run Thursday in prep for yesterday's Spa 10K in downtown Hot Springs. And it worked out that you live about 30 minutes from Hot Springs along the way. I got to drop my dog off so he wasn't stuck at home all day. And because we did Thanksgiving stuff on the Powell side of the family at my uncle's place in Hot Springs yesterday afternoon. So did that. So basically I was in Hot Springs all day, but I got there. Okay. I'll I've had some bathroom issues the last couple of days because I know you want to hear about this.
Obviously,
It's
always.
just been frequent. Hasn't been stomach aches or anything. It's just been frequent usage of it. And I had to stop and do that at your place before going to Hot Springs. I thought I was good. I go pick up my packet and then I had to do it again after that. And then I had to go exchange my shirt too because I like my shirts big and at least my run shirts. And I don't know, I get a 2X, I guess just because I'm fat. I don't know. Or just like them that big. But I go and I get it, and I can't remember which because I can wear an extra large. It fits better. I just like the shirt to be big. But I go and get it, and the person, who is giving me my packet and stuff has to tell the person what kind of shirt. And extra. She goes extra large. And so I was like, well, that's weird. Who says that? Just say 2X. And so as I'm going up to the bathroom, I check. It just something tells me check the shirt, and of course it was an extra large. But I was able to go exchange it after. I just thought that was weird. That was just something that stood out to me. Like just say 2X. Why'd you say it funny? I don't know. I felt the need to say that on the show. But anyway, I go to the bathroom. I get that done, and I of course missed the Iron Runner photo just because I'm in the bathroom during all this. It took me a while to get there and find a parking spot anyway because I couldn't park in the big arena parking lot. I had to park behind the arena. I guess just because I got there late. Wasn't late to the race, but the half marathon started at 7 a.m. and the 10K wasn't until 7:45. So that was going on, and they had already blocked everything off. But I was still able to get in there and get my stuff pretty easy. But yeah, I got that done. And the good thing about it was, I was like, well, nothing else can come out of me. There's nothing that could possibly come out of me during this race. So I can at least go hard. And I did. And it was a fun race. I didn't, my time range, I told somebody this. I was like, I have no idea because I've done the half there before a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. And it's very difficult. I mean, you're running uphill for at least half of it.
Up, not just uphill, up a mountain.
Yes, 2 of them.
Yeah.
It's called the Summit to Summit Half Marathon. I mean, you're running up 2 mountains.
I was gonna say, I feel like we need to not call them hills. We need to point out that they are mountains. And downtown Hot Springs is surrounded by mountains, the Hot Springs National Park. And I think one of them is East Mountain, and I don't remember what the other one is. It might be just West, honestly.
That would be my guess. But having done that, I've never done the 10K there. I've just done the half marathon. So I expected it to be difficult. And I knew I was going to be running uphill at some point or up a mountain. And you do that. It's not, you run past the Arlington and you go around to the following summit or hill or excuse me, mountain. And then you go up it and then you go down. But it wasn't as bad. I was able to run the whole thing. Some people stopped and walked, but I was able to run the whole thing, no problem. Of course, slowed down as I was going up, but I was still able to run the whole thing and came in. My official time was 48:42 or something like that. My Strava said 48:45, I believe. So chip time was 48:42, I think. But it was good enough for third place in my age group.
Woo!
I'll start off, which I love the medal, by the way. I will show it. I'm rocking the shirt, but you can't really see it on this show. But this was the medal for the Spa 10K.
Oh, it's got like crystals.
Yeah, for those of you watching on Spotify and YouTube.
Yeah. There are a lot of crystals in hot springs.
Yes, there are. And it's got a little spinny doohickey, which they like to do these on those.
I like
Okay,
it.
got the name of the race and then the distance on the other side. The hot springs races, they like to do that. The spa races. They always have the little spinny thing on some portion, even like the half marathon one does. And I got a second medal for getting third in my age group in the male 40 to 44.
Wow.
So
More crystals.
I'm on there on the back, third place, male 40 to 44. So
Congrats.
yeah, I got to leave with two. I got to be the guy with the clangy medals going to the car, which is always fun because I could hear if I got to my car and I had time to kill before going over to my uncle. So I was like, I'll just go downtown and get a coffee somewhere. So as I was like Googling places to go, I could hear a girl parked by me approaching her car and I could hear the clanging. So I turned around and said, congratulations, because I knew what that meant. She goes, thanks. And so she was an age group winner as well for whatever group it was. That was the extent of our conversation. But yes, that was race number 19. In the Grand Prix series, I got one more to go. That's the Three Bridges Marathon in 3 weeks. 3 weeks from yesterday. So 26.2 miles. Fun way to end the Grand Prix season. With 2024.
Wow.
I don't know how I'm going to approach it. I still don't know. I don't know if I want to try to sub 4 or if I want to just go for like the 4:30 range.
I have no idea.
I don't know yet. Um, tell us tell us what's going on with you, Michelle, as I clear my throat real quick.
There's not a lot going on with me. Still in school. So just kind of struggling with that. Finals are right around the corner. I do want to briefly talk about what I did last weekend, though. So while you ran a trail race, I played indoor pickleball. And so I went to, there's an indoor pickleball arena in Little Rock that has like open play on Saturday nights. And it says it welcomes all like skill levels. And while I would say they were very welcoming to those of us who are pretty new to the sport, um, we were the only beginners, and it was very clear that we were the only beginners. They all knew each other, and when you were watching them play, you were like, wow, I don't want to play with them. But the rules of open play are, you split and have to go to different courts. Um, and so I, at one point, played pickleball with three strangers who were very nice, that I had no idea what I was doing and didn't laugh at me when I missed the ball. But it was it was a fun time. I would probably go back. So that was also something that I did that I wanted to talk about.
Okay. Um, I'll explain my facial reactions in a little bit. Uh, tell us, okay, I don't know what pickleball is exactly. I played racquetball in college and was actually pretty good at it. I was better than all my friends. That's not saying a lot, but I was the best that I knew at it. I mean, had I tried to play intramural or something, I'm sure I would have gotten smoked, but I really liked racquetball. What is pickleball compared to that? Is it similar?
I don't know what racquetball is, so I do not know the answer to if it's similar. But pickleball is mini tennis. So you're playing kind of on like a half court, sort of. But there's a thing called the kitchen, which is this area right in front of the net on either side that you can't step in, but that's like you end up playing right there. And so the ball's not bouncing. It only has to bounce the first time. And then basically everybody moves up to the kitchen and you are just hitting it back and forth. It's crazy to watch people who actually play it regularly. But that's pickleball. Mini tennis turned ping pong-esque in the end.
With a question mark. All right. One thing I like about you is that you are like you're willing to go do something new or different or whatever it is, whether it was joining a co-ed softball league a couple of years ago. No matter how bad it goes, because y'all got didn't y'all lose like every game?
We won a couple,
Okay.
but we did lose the losers bracket.
Like you were the worst in the losers bracket?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. If you're gonna fail, fail hard. That's what I say. But what prompted you to go? What made you want to go play pickleball? I'm just
My
curious.
my best friend called me and said, "Hey, we're gonna go play pickleball. Do you want to come?" And I said, "Sure."
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's cool.
My best
I
friend and her
would love
family, they go and play all the time. They live right next to a park that has like 4 pickleball courts. It might even have more, honestly. And they'll go play all the time on the weekends or evenings after school, things like that.
this in Benton.
No, they live in Bryant.
Okay. Um, I just know they're building a lot of stuff around there, so it wouldn't surprise me if something's
There
new.
are pickleball courts in Benton, and there's a mountain bike park and a skate park and all kinds of interesting things in Benton.
Rock on. Going back to the biking thing, Northwest Art, I think Bella Vista, they are building like a whole. What are you shaking your head for?
They had a thing.
Oh, a tick.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, what's going on over there? All right. But they're building a whole like mountain biking. I don't know what you call it thing. But my nephew had a birthday party. Uh, the day we did the back for no, it was the following day, the day after the back 40 trail race, and he had it at a park, and he apparently has lots of friends, so there were a lot of kids there. So good for Caden on that. But it was they had some people from church there, and there was a guy there, and he was talking about, and he was uh, really friendly dude, like very personable. And he just came up and introduced himself to me, and was like, we were talking, and he was talking about his kid. That he had bike practice like later that day. Yeah, I was like, what is bike practice? And they go, and I mean, because it's very difficult. A lot of the stuff that they do, this mountain bike stuff, and kids do it. And yeah, they have bike practice for that kind of thing. I thought that was interesting. I thought it was cool. Just I mean get a young person involved in outdoor stuff, because kids in this country stay inside more than they ever have. So any of them that get out and do things, I'm going to be for, most likely. But I thought that was unique. But they're building a whole thing like that in Northwest Arkansas. I think in particular like the Bella Vista, Bentonville area.
Well,
So
Bentonville is the mountain biking capital of the world. So
yeah, I didn't know that, but it doesn't surprise me, I guess. Okay, maybe it does a little bit. I figured Colorado would be
you would
that.
think that, but if you Google, I Googled mountain bike capital of the US because I just wanted to know for sure, and it is Bentonville, Arkansas.
Well, Google says it must be true.
Must be true.
Well, our hometown is the minnow farm capital of the world.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, which also makes it the mosquito capital of the world. Lots of standing water everywhere,
Plus, it's farmland all around the minnow farm area.
which is more,
So,
which rice fields specifically, which is more standing water. Yeah.
yeah. So they double down on the mosquitoes.
Yes,
I mean, I like the Jackrabbits mascot for the school, but I mean, it might as well be the mosquitoes.
it really should have been.
Yeah, probably. Okay, well, before that's all that's going on with me. I do have a turkey trot that I'm doing. My mom is registered for it. There's one, and they're through every town, really, major town in Arkansas, whether it be like the Saline County one is the Saturday before Thanksgiving. As I tried to talk you into doing that, I was feeling very ambitious that day, and you were just like, absolutely not.
No.
But I would have done it had you done it. But my town, Cabot, has one Thanksgiving Day, and it's free. That's what I like about it. It's free. And
Yeah,
another
mine
thing
is
I like
not.
about it is it's just for fun. I mean, it's based there, but just a fun run. You just go out there, and a lot of them, they want you to donate like canned goods, things like that, um, which makes sense. And I mean, it's all for a good cause and just something that's for fun for the family to do. For families that find that kind of thing fun, like me being, one of those people. But my mom's doing it. I'm trying to talk my brother and um, his crew into doing it, and they'll probably end up doing it. We'll see because they're going to be down. But I know me and my mom are doing it. I'm just gonna go and I'm not. It's not a race or anything for me, but I am gonna go run and get a good workout in because I think it's a 5K, but I don't know. Like I know the Little Rock one has like a 5K and like a 5 and 6 mile option. But me, I just want to run hard enough to where it's a good workout to where I can feel good about eating later, like get a good appetite for that. I'm not an overeater on Thanksgiving, but I do have a really good lunch plate. And then that's it. I mean, there's plenty of things left over. I'm not one of those eat till I'm miserable people ever, but definitely not on Thanksgiving. That's kind of weird to me that people do that.
It's true.
What's your take on it, Michelle?
I wasn't listening.
I was gonna say, were you even paying attention? What are you even doing on the internet
I was looking up the distance of the Cabot turkey trot.
right? Okay, so you were paying attention at least to something.
Yeah, so I was trying to see if they had like any kind of information, but it doesn't actually say the distance. So, um,
I don't know. I just assume it's a
oh,
5K.
it's a 3-mile family-friendly fun run and walk.
Oh, well, there you go.
So not quite a 5K,
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, 3 miles. I can go get a decent run in, and yeah, just hang out with. I'm sure my run club people will be there. So
probably.
yeah, we'll do that, and that'll be that. Okay, before we get out of here, and why I made a face earlier.
I don't want to. We can just say goodbye.
Well, I was checking the fantasy football update. Michelle
Oh,
and I are in like a five-way tie with people for second place at 6-4. It's a very balanced league. I do like that. Um, but I was checking the score just now, and I had guys light it up while I've been in here. I'm currently up 100 even to 19.8. I'm
wow.
projected to win by 34 points. Now, I mean, I've had got Cooper Cup went off, Brock Bowers went off. Defense played well. My bench has even lit it up. You, on the other hand, are not lighting it up.
No.
Now, you do have a 40% chance of winning. I mean, but what got you is okay, for those of you that play fantasy football, pretty much it's a universally known that before noon on Sunday, you go check your lineup to make sure everybody's going to play. I was on the phone with Michelle about 12:30, and she was like, "Oh, I need to do that." And I was like, "Well, it's too late now."
It wouldn't have mattered because the person on my bench that I would have replaced the person who's out with played on Thursday. So it would not have mattered.
But it was announced that, I mean, you got a point, but it was announced yesterday that George Kittle probably wasn't going to play. And I feel like you should have, any good manager would have monitored that during the week. Michelle.
Again, it would not have mattered because the person I would have moved in played on Thursday. And I was not getting rid of anybody just to have another tight end. So it literally would not have mattered. I would have had to make the change on Thursday. And I do recall getting griped at last week for having Kittle on the bench.
Yes, why did you have him on the bench? He was healthy last week.
Because I forgot to move him. So I moved him.
And gripe is a
And then,
strong word.
and then it didn't work out this week. He should have stayed on the bench.
Okay, and here's the other thing. You've got two kickers on your roster, and one of which isn't even playing because he's hurt. You definitely could have dropped him and plugged somebody else in.
Um,
Yes, that's correct. All right. Well, anyway, let's so George Kittle's got you currently 0 points,
yeah,
and we'll have 0 points for this week.
yeah.
Would you like to tell everyone what your tied in on your bench score?
He scored 18.7 points.
You did.
He did. He did not score that last week when he was playing.
Well, you're currently down 11 points. If you lose by 11, is that going to bother you a little bit?
No, I'm going to lose by a lot more. It's okay. The last time I played this guy, I lost by a lot. So,
All right. Well, Michelle is going to be fighting for a playoff spot after this week. It looks like. It looks like Graham is going to be in good position to at least remain in that top tier portion of the playoff bracket. So shout out to my guys on that. All right. So we've done fantasy football. We've talked running. I'm very stuffy. My nose is full of all kinds of stuff that needs to get blown out, and my throat hurts a little bit. It's currently 3:21. I don't know if it's worth going out and trying to mow the backyard. So that's the thing. I really only have time to do that. So I don't know. What do you think?
I think that since you're sick, you need to rest. But
I mean,
that's
I got a cold. I don't have like the flu or something.
still, you don't want it to turn into something worse just because you go out and do.
It's 75 degrees today. It's not like it's going to get colder. Oh,
It's not necessarily the cold, it's just exerting yourself,
now,
which
I'd
you've
rather
done.
go watch the Chiefs and Bills, but I also would like to just get this portion of the yard done too. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Either way, I'm going to upload this episode and then make a decision from there. But I got nothing to add, Michelle, unless you do.
Nope.
All right. Well, we'll get out of here and we'll, I guess, be back next weekend with more running talk, but and life and all that kind of jazz. But until then, I'm Graham Powell. That's Michelle Zangulis. We'll see y'all next time.
See ya.